What is up, guys? This is Adam. And if you remember, I believe back in April of last year, I believe it was, I made a Wii Sports Resort game mode tier list where I ranked all the modes in Wii Sports Resort from S tier to F tier. So today I'm going to be doing this with Wii Sports. Not going to be as long. Wii Sports only has 5 games, all of which I would say are better than the worst of the Wii Sports Resort games. So as such, I'm only going to be ranking them from S tier to D tier instead of having an F tier. So I don't really think any of these games are awful. Some are meh, some are good, and some are and maybe one or two are great. So because it's not as much, I'm going to talk more extensively about the sports. Hopefully stretch this video out a decent length. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. As you can see, the tier is from S to D, and I'm going to start off. I'm going to be going in the order by which the sports appear. So I'm going to be starting with tennis first, and to be honest, I'm going to give tennis a D tier. I know this ranking. I will say, again, I know it's pretty common, but it's my opinion. All objective to myself, but I know this is going to trigger some people, and so just hear me out. Actually, before I say that, I want to make a disclaimer. I think all of these games are extremely fun, and I would play if I were to play like Wii Sports with a friend. I would play all these games. I would not leave any of them out. So me saying that tennis is D tier is not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying I believe it is the worst game in Wii Sports, and the reason I say that is it unlike some of the other games, it's just not really complex. I feel like the game is fairly basic, and not just its controls. I mean, I get it. The controls are pretty basic for the whole series. Just in the way it plays. I mean, I understand there's not a lot you can do with tennis. But, I mean, if the ball comes to you just kind of swing your remote and it'll hit it back. I, I'm trying to make this sound not, like, entirely controversial. Because I get that that's what tennis is. But there's nothing really too like dynamic about it, I guess. Like there's really nothing else you can do besides hit it back. What you got? I know I keep saying this. I know it's tennis, but this is not real life tennis. It's a video game. So I feel like there should be just a little bit more to it. It's like I also mentioned, very basic. Uh, there also, I will admit, this game is a lot more luck based than the other games. And I say that because if you were to hit the ball back across the net, like pretty perfect, it would go to like the other person, and they would just hit it back. Like there's really nothing like positioning of the ball, I guess you could say, is kind of dependent on like when you swing the Wii remote, I guess, which I guess can be a skill, but it can also be kind of luck because I'm assuming that most casuals were just going to get it over. So I'm not really a big fan of that, if I'm being honest. What I do like about it is I fast serving is an option, which does add some variety, which I appreciate because I'm sure this game would be a bit more boring without it. Uh, that's really all I have to say. No, there's not a lot to tennis, which is why I am putting it in the D tier. But like I said, still a decently fun game. All right, next up we have baseball, and I want to apologize in advance to all my friends, all my baseball friends, because we play this game all the time together. But this game is an A tier game. I know probably some of you who don't play this expected it to be like lower based on what I said, but no. Baseball and Wii Sports is probably my most played thing in any video game of all time. Every time I play the Wii, which maybe I would say once a week, I play this for at least an hour with someone else because this game is it's so much fun, especially the hitting part. The hitting part of this game is what I absolutely love the most. I know it's very unrealistic, but just swinging the bat and seeing the ball go over the fences for a home run, something so satisfying about that makes me want to play. And also, I really love the pitching mechanic. All the different pitches you can throw, all the different if for those who don't know, you can actually press the D pad when you're pitching any direction, and the ball will actually, like if you press the outside of the D pad, the ball will go outside. In case you guys didn't know that, it applies for the other directions as well. I think that's really cool and offers some good friendly competition. I would say this is by far my favorite competition game. When it's me and a friend, we play this game. Now, why is it A tier, not S tier? Well, the fielding. one thing I hate about this game is that you have no control over the fielders. And so when you hit it into the field, you're just kind of hoping and praying that if you're playing defense, that your fielders don't mess up. Like, it's not self-inflicted, it's game-inflicted. And I get there's only like a 10% chance that they'll mess up, which in a way I guess offers some kind of excitement factor to it. But I just really wish you could control the fielders in this game. And I know that's a common complaint about this, and I see it. I definitely see that. But besides the fielding, the pitching is awesome and the hitting is awesome, and that's why this game is A tier. Because 2/3 of the aspects of this game are great, not good. They're great. Fielding though just falls short. That's why baseball's an A tier for me. Next up, we got bowling, and bowling going in S tier. I know this may be a surprise to all my baseball friends who have never seen me play bowling and probably don't know how much I enjoy it, but I really think this is the best game in the package of Wii Sports. And I think it's the best game because I think it's pretty much the opposite from tennis. Whereas tennis is, I would say, very luck based, bowling is very skill based. And baseball has a little bit of luck to it too. And I guess this game does in a little bit of a way as well. But skill based, the way you angle the Wii remote so it gets the right amount of spin on it to get strikes or spares or just hit the pins, I guess. The way you hit the pins in this game is very skill like. And yeah, sometimes you get like 7-10 splits that are annoying, and that I can get that is a little bit luck based. But really, whatever you want the ball to do, and if it does it and it comes out the way that you want it to, that's skill based. And so I really like that. Especially in this game, the better you get at it, the better your score will be. You see that, and I think you see that in golf too, and so yeah, maybe in baseball as well. But this game, I think, truly reflects that. The more you play it, the more better you get. Because I promise you, first time I played this game back in like 2010, and I was only like 4 years old. I remember I had no clue what I was doing, and now in 2022, 12 years later, I can bowl either a 300 or a very high in the 200s game. And I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying that it really shows that the more you play it, the more you'll get better with it, know the strategies, know what to do. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Also, I will say one more thing. That this was updated in Wii Sports Resort. And the modes that include in that game were really good. I talked more about that in the Wii Sports Resort video. But I think I gave this game an S tier, I think I gave it either an S tier or A tier. But that just shows that that this game, that what they kept from it is top quality, and I truly believe that because they kept it because it was top quality, that it is top quality. So that's why bowling is an S tier. All right, next up we have golf, and I'm putting golf in B tier. Golf overall in this game, I will say, in Wii Sports Resort, this game is vastly superior to golf and Wii Sports. They nailed the Wii Motion Plus in Wii Sports Resort with golf perfectly, and so it feels like you're actually playing golf. And so, back to talking about this one, you don't really feel like you're playing golf exactly. Because I'm going to compare this to the Wii Sports Resort version a lot. Because in the Wii Sports Resort version, you can hit hooks, you can hit draws, you can hit slices, you can hit fades, you can implement where you can place the ball based on the wind and what kind of shot shape you want. And this, you don't really do that. You just you swing it, and whatever happens, happens. Like, golf is also a very luck-based game in a way. But I put it in B tier because, it's still a lot of fun. Despite all the stuff I just said, it's still a very, very enjoyable game. Because, it's, at the end of the day, it is golf. And even if you don't feel like playing it, you are. And I know it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's just a fun game. That's that's the reason why it is in the middle. I believe it has its problems, like I just mentioned, but it also has a lot of redeeming qualities that that the Wii Sports Resort version of golf got from this golf, and like Wii Sports Resort just improved on the flaws of this golf with that golf. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about golf and Wii Sports, or in Wii Sports, and that's why I put it in B tier. Next up is boxing, and boxing's not a D tier game. I had to reshoot this. Boxing is a C tier game, and I said I didn't mean for it to play out like this, where each sport had its own individual ranking, but that's not how it plays out. That's how I truly feel about boxing. I think it's a C tier game. This is the only game in Wii Sports that requires not only a Wii remote but also a nunchuck, which I think says something about the game that I like. I say boxing is the most complex game in Wii Sports because, the nunchuck really allows it. It acts like those two fists that you have, and with those two fists, you can punch, you can block, you can move, and with that, I think because you can do so much stuff, because it has a nunchuck involved is what I like because it adds variety, and variety is good to have in a game. Something like tennis does not have a lot of variety, so that's why it's ranked a little lower. But boxing does have a lot of variety, and it's still ranked a little lower. And the reason I say it is just because I don't really think it's just that exciting, to be honest. I feel like it's a very underwhelming game to play. So boxing is usually the game that I play the least amount out of all the games. Um, I'd say I even play tennis more than boxing, even though I do like boxing a little more. But I say it's not exciting. Like I just said, it's underwhelming. Why is it underwhelming? Well, I it's kind of tough to put into words, but when you finally knock someone out, it does not feel really rewarding. Like you go through doing all that stuff to get them knocked out, and then there's not really just anything to get excited about in this game. And I know maybe that's just for me, but that's how I feel. Uh, it's not really a whole lot of. Okay, I take it back. It's fun to play with other people, um, but I just feel like the other sports have something to offer more. That's more exciting than boxing, I would say. That's really all the words I have for it. To be honest, boxing it's the one I play the least. So, like I mentioned, it's the usually the one that I don't know the most about per se. So yeah, that's all I have to say about boxing really. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Here's my final ranking of all the sports in Wii Sports Resort: bowling S tier, baseball A tier, golf B tier, boxing C tier, and tennis D tier. If you have anything to say about this, leave it in the comments, and we can start a little debate on whatever you'd like. I'd be down for it. We all love this game, so I think having debates about it is good if we want to keep the game alive and well. And also, I want to apologize just in advance. I know that I stutter a lot in this video. I don't really seem to make sense at points. Um, See, I just did it right here. And I apologize for that. I'm not really good at these type of videos, just because I don't like articulating my thoughts into my actual words that come out of my mouth. So, apologize for that, but hope you still found the video enjoyable. Maybe reliving your childhood, thinking about these games. But yeah, I'm gonna go play some Wii Sports right now, so I will see you guys later.